Hey y'all, welcome back to my welcome back to my channel. I'm Charnel. Thank you for watching my video today. Today I'm going to talk about the books that I read in the month of July 2024. So I have 4 of them here physically, but I read I think 9 books in total. So we have a mix of audiobooks, Kindle books, so e-reading, and physical books, and then one was a library book that's already been returned. So I'm gonna jump right in. I'll start with, I guess I'll start with the beginning of the month. I'm gonna start with the first book. So this is Now That I Found You by Christina Forrest. So it's technically a June read, but I finished like early morning on the 1st. So I just, Goodreads will count it as the 1st of July. So this was a YA romance, I guess you could say, from Christina Forrest. Y'all know Christina Forrest is like one of my favorite authors. She's a romance author. And before what's the series called? Is there a name for the series? But before her current series, why am I blanking? The Partner Plot and A Neighbor Favor. There was she had what do you call it? YA. Why am I can't talk today. So yeah, so this one I rated it. Let me go on my Goodreads. I rated this 4 stars. Rounded up 3.5, so 4 stars. I think it was good. It's YA. The characters are like the main character. She's sort of annoying, but it's YA. She's like 18 or 19, I think. Her and the guy, the main guy. So yeah, I'll keep saying this. It's YA. It was okay. So technically I would say 3.5 stars was what I should have kept it at, but Goodreads you cannot round up, or you can't do half stars, so it is what it is. So yeah, that was A Neighbor Favor, or Now That I Found You. And then the next one that I read after that one was Kirby Girl Summer. I'll put the picture up somewhere right here of the book, Kirby Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. This book was so funny. It's a romance, but it was funny. Like, Danielle Allen, this was like for the culture. Like, the banter, the stuff they talked about, and the way they said stuff, and like the wording is like, it's like us, like our friends, like how we just talk to each other, like, and like, yeah, like her and the main guy, what was their names? Aaliyah and Ahmad. They were hilarious. And their love story was cute. It's like, I guess they're like friends. Yeah, friends first. But yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. Like, you guys need to read it. Just need to read it. It's on Kindle Unlimited if you have Kindle, or you read it on your iPad or phone or whatever. So it's technically free. Or paperback. I've heard the audiobook is really good too. So I rated this a even 4 stars. It was good. Danielle Allen, she's a good writer. She had me laughing. And both characters are so cute. I recommend it. Highly recommend it. And then the next one I read, I have it here, was Missing White Woman by Kelly. Is that how you say? Yeah, Kelly Garrett. I rated this 4 stars also. This was good. So this is basically a thriller. Oh, and it's quoted by Mary Kubica, one of my favorite thriller authors. So this is basically a thriller, but I would say it's like a black thriller, meaning like there's things that will be thrilling, like scary to us because of our race, that sort of happen. Unfortunately, rest in peace to Sonia Massey. like the shooting that happened, the officer involved shooting that happened. He killed her in her own home because she called them because she was scared because she thought somebody was breaking into her home. But yeah, so this is sort of on time, so it could be triggering. So I actually finished this before I found out what happened in Chicago or Springfield, Illinois. So yeah, it's not, I would say it's not exactly the same, but it's still, you know, crime situations that happen that could turn wrong for Black people. So I highly recommend this one, but do check triggers. And it is, or you can just think of it as it's a thriller that's like kind of try to suspend your, what is it called? Suspend your belief or whatever. Or just, yeah, maybe put it off for when if you're not feeling that heaviness or of real life. But yeah, I recommend it. I rated it 4 stars. Yeah, and then the next one I read was my most read author of the year, Gray Huffington, my girl. So this I read, I put the picture up because I read it on my Kindle, on Kindle Unlimited. It's Chemistry, The Chemist. And this is a new series. It's a spin-off of the Mercer brothers. Is it like, is that what they're called? Mercer brothers, with like Malachi, I forget the other boys' names, but they start with M's, but it's their big brother, their oldest brother, who has a different dad. So this is his series now. The series is called The Gray List. And it's about him. His book is Chemistry. His name is Chemistry. And then his sisters, he has 5 or 6 different younger sisters they have a different mom from him. So they share a dad, and his stepmom is their mom. So it's like she has created a whole family tree and a whole just saga. Cause I think he's not in Clark, he's in, which is like her fictional town. I forget the town. If I remember, I'll put the name up here somewhere. But yeah, so he's in one of the neighboring towns. It's good. I rated it 5 stars. I loved it. Hey, record the video. Okay, so I recommend it. I rated it 5 stars. And the next one, it already came out. It's one of his sisters. Her name is Rather. Her book just came out, I think like last week or 2 weeks ago or so. And yeah, so I already downloaded it on my Kindle, and I'll be reading it soon. And the next one I read is The Blackwoods. I read it on audiobook, but I just remembered I have the physical book and y'all are sitting on the physical book. Let me get it. And so this is The Blackwoods that y'all were sitting on, and it's by Brandy Colbert. And this is I would say it's a YA historical fiction, contemporary fiction. Yeah, it was okay. So it's funny enough, I actually started the physical book like last year, and I DNF'd it, but then I saw on Spotify that the audiobook was on there, so like, let me see if I can finish it on audiobooks. You know, sometimes audiobook is like better, and some books are harder to read physically for some reason. But anyways, long story short, I like the audiobook better. I gave it 3-star rating. It was okay. I think I need to be careful about YA because you know, as a grown person, a 30-something, young adults could be annoying. So it was okay. It was 3 stars, and I think I probably bought it for the cover, to be honest, because look at that. It's so cute. So at least I can just display it on my shelf, right? And then after that, let's see what else I did. Oh, I just returned this to the library. Sweetness in the Skin, somewhere over here I'll put it, by Ishi Robinson. And this was like a literary fiction, literary YA fiction. Not even YA, literary coming of age fiction, set in Jamaica, set in Kingston, Jamaica. And let me, sorry y'all, my living room was off the kitchen and my husband's in there. But yeah, so this is, what did I give it? Okay, so I gave this one 4 stars. Actually no, I gave it 5. I gave this 5 stars. It's one of my favorite reads of the year, or just ever. Like, it was so good. If you read it, please comment below so we can talk about it in the comments. Like, so this was about, this is the only one I'm probably gonna say like a little bit about. Like, it was about a young girl, like preteen girl, and we do follow her sort of at the end. We do, no, I don't want to, let me not spoil. Most of the book, she's like young, I would say like 12 or 13, 14 maybe. And her name is Pumpkin, and basically her mom and her dad are worthless. Worthless. Like, no. Like, the only good people she has in her life as a young kid is her auntie, who's trying to get them out of their situation. Like, you know, like, get them out of their situation, and she's actually like a real parent to her. And then her grandmother, who's like, okay, you know, she's old school, but she's still there for Pumpkin. So I just recommend it. Oh my gosh, I don't want to spoil anything. I highly recommend it. It's 5-star read for me. Yeah. And the next one I read is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. This is my first Geneva Rose book, but her books have been on my radar for years. It's a thriller. I read it on Kindle Unlimited, and wait, no. I read it on Libby through my Kindle. And I rated it 4 stars. I've been reading some good thrillers lately. Like, it wasn't scary at all. Y'all know I'm a scaredy cat. It was not scary at all. It was like a domestic thriller. So it's like a family situation. You have to figure out like who did it, like, type of thing. And it was good. And I think this is her most recent release, like this year, like maybe in the spring. Yeah. Excuse me. So I highly recommend this one. And the next one I read was this was a Kindle Unlimited. It was a huge disappointment. Huge. I did not like it. Like, I halfway DNF'd it. I skipped some chapters. I'm like, okay, what is going on here? So this is called Happy is on Hiatus by A.C. Arthur. Okay? And I've reviewed another one of her books last year. What is it called? The After Party. Oh no, I wasn't on BookTube yet. So I reviewed, or I read, I should say, her another book of hers called The After Party, and I gave that one 5 stars. I read this one last year. It says August 14, 2023 is when I finished that book. So, and that was a 5-star read for me. It was so good. So I was like, when I saw this one, it was a similar thing, like a friend, like you know, womanhood, like friendship group, and they're each going through stuff. It's very similar. I thought it was gonna be similar to The After Party. Happy is on hiatus. I don't know. The writing wasn't good. The plot wasn't plotting. And the characters were annoying. They were just saying the same thing over and over again. So I was like shocked. I'm like, is this the same author? I'll probably take some of this out because I don't want to be mean. But long story short, I gave it 2 stars. Read it at your own, I don't know. Read it if you want to, but I can't recommend it. Like, I do recommend The After Party though. I'll put that up too. Pick the picture up so you can see what I'm talking about. But I didn't really care for it. I gave it 2 stars and that was it. And then the next one I read was How to Age Disgracefully by one of my faves, Claire Pooley. And this was actually our July book club read. And I gave this one 3 stars, which is sort of disappointing because y'all know I sing Claire's praises. I love her. I've read literally all her books. She is my go-to feel-good books author. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but this one it just dragged a little bit. It was a multi POV because she's really good at like found family, so she like a diverse set of a group of friends in a particular situation. She's really good at that. So I was really excited to read that, but 1 or 2 of them I just didn't really care about their POVs, so it felt dragging to me. Like I was just like, okay, trying to get through. I only really cared, I was like, I don't want to say that, but like the main character, I wanted to know what's going on with her. Like I was just really interested in her story and maybe like 1 or 2 others, but so it felt dragging that way. Like I wish we could have got to the main characters. Her name was Daphne, her story like more, but it was okay. It was a solid 3 stars, but this one is it's okay. It's 3 stars. And the next one I read is The Monsters We Defy. I listened to that on audiobook on Spotify. This one is a historical and fantasy. I'm like, what is the word? It's a historical fiction fantasy. So this is The Monsters We Defy by Leslie Penelope. And this one, I think a couple months ago, it was on my radar. Like I said, I wanted to read it, and I think I found it on Goodreads. Because when did it come out? 2022. I don't know. I saw it on Goodreads. So basically, this is about. I don't want to say too much, but I'll read you my review though. I said, I love this audiobook. Clara and her friends were funny and kept me listening for more. To hear the author's note saying that Clara was inspired by a real person and the real story about the real Clara was shocking, but not really. I do highly recommend this book. So I gave this one 4 stars, and that's what I'm glad I remembered to read what I said on Goodreads, because audiobooks, the author's note starts starts playing, and she said there's a real Clara during this time. This is like 1930s DC. Let's see, does it say 1925? So okay, let me read y'all so y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm gonna read y'all the because this book like really like was surprisingly so good. I'm gonna read y'all the synopsis of it a little bit. So a woman able to communicate with spirits must assemble a ragtag crew to pull off a daring heist to save her community in this timely and dazzling historical fantasy. There you go. Historical fantasy that weaves together African-American folk magic, history, and romance. In the summer of 1925, along Washington, D.C.'s Black Broadway, a malevolent entity has begun preying on Negro residents. 23-year-old Clara Johnson is determined to discover what's going on in her community. Using her natural ability to talk with spirits, she begins to investigate, but a powerful spirit tasks her with a difficult quest: steal an ancient magical ring from the finger of a wealthy socialite. When Clara meets Israel Lee, a supernaturally enhanced jazz musician, also vying for the ring, the two decide to work together. They put together an unlikely team, including a former circus freak, a pickpocketing Pullman porter, and an aging vaudeville actor to pull off an impossible heist. So yeah, so doesn't that sound exciting? Anyways, so there, I don't want to spoil it because it's not in the synopsis. But long story short, this is a historical fiction fantasy. It's a work of fiction, but Claire is based on a real person. And once you find out what the situation is that I'm talking about, that I don't want to spoil, as soon as you start listening or start reading. Like the first 2 chapters, I think, there's a situation that happened a couple years prior to her being 23 that that happens to her and her dad, I think, that you're like, oh wow, like, they kind of bypass it, but like to hear the author's note bring it back and like, oh, that really happened to somebody, and you can like Google, and that like blows my mind. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm a nerd. I'm like a history nerd sometimes, especially when it comes to black people, but to find out that really happened. And that's what I was saying, I know I cried with this book. I was angry with a lot of the situations that went on because I know it's true. You know, this is a work of historical fiction. I know it's true. Like, and it's still, a lot of the things are still going on today. And like I said, rest in peace to Sonia Massey. And it's just like, I hate that she's another name. Situations like that happen in this book too. I'm not spoiling it because if you're black, you just know. But this is actually the last book I read. I finished it over this past weekend, and I started the Kiss Countdown, but I'm just taking my time because I'm not really in a slump. I'm just still thinking about this, because y'all knew I usually like to pick up a book immediately, but I'm just still thinking about it. And yeah, I love this book. And you guys know my favorite book of all time is Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. I have it up here somewhere. Oh yes. Let me see if I can pull it out. Yes, this is my favorite book of all time. Favorite book. And it's, if you love this one, you will love this one. It's just, she was able to go, she went all the way back. All the way back. The Honoré Jeffers. Man, the power of books. That's all I can say. But yeah, so those are all the books that I read in the month of July. It's a mixed bag. I had some thrillers. I had my feel-goods, my romances, and let's see, and my literary fictions. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching my videos. As always, make sure you're liking and subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.